Wanderers, today we're going to be covering 10 tips for quality of life that I absolutely cannot live without. These are some great changes that have appeared over the years that I wanted to make sure that we shared with everybody. The very first thing that we're going to be covering is one of my favorites. If you're on a horse, the only thing that you want to do is sprint unlimited. You don't want it to slow down. Now, that is part of the game, but what you can do to combat that is you can add cooldown reduction to your gear. Your cooldown reduction will actually affect the spur on your horse. So on my helmet here, I'm going to be running the Crown of Lucian. This is just part of my build. Fortunately, it has cooldown reduction on it. You can find helmets that have cooldown reduction as part of what it is. If you haven't found anything with it and you did want to add this into your gear, it is very easy to do. You can just come back over to the Occultist, and at the Occultist, you can actually re-roll one stat on your gear. So if you come over to the Purveyor of Curiosity and you go down to helmets, you can actually just gamble. You find yourself an ancestral piece of gear here. It's very, very easy at the Occultist, so really extra bonus tip. If you need some gear, then you're going to put this in here, and then you can just choose one stat, and then you just click on enchant, and then you can re-roll. Now, if you want to see what you can possibly re-roll, you just click on possible affixes right here, and then you can come down, and then you can see that you have cooldown reduction right here that is available as an option for your roll. Now, I already have a helmet here with it on, but my helmet already has it too. So adding in this gear is actually going to make it so that you have unlimited sprints, because your cooldowns are going to come up before your sprint will expire. So I just put on my extra boots. These are my riding boots here. We put these on, and now if you watch the cooldown on my sprint, we're going to be able to sprint unlimited because that sprint is going to come back up before it runs out again. So the more cooldown reduction you add, the more you're going to be able to sprint unlimited through the maps. It's going to be a really, really great quality of life change for you. Tip number 2, we're going to be at the jeweler here. Now, as you guys know, adding in gems is an incredibly important part. They're going to add resistances, they're going to add damage, they're also going to add main stats, which is very, very important for whatever class you're playing. Your main stats are going to vary by class that you're playing. Barbarian is going to use strength, the intelligence is going to be for the necromancer and for the sorcerer. The willpower will be for your druids, and then dexterity will be for your spiritborn and for your rogue. All of those classes are going to benefit hugely from having your main stat because it's a multiplier to your damage. When you're swapping runes out and when you've crafted runes, you can come over here and you can craft your gems, and then you can also craft runes if you haven't found any. These are random chances to get the runes. So if you have an abundance of, let's say, common runes, and you do need the expansion pack to have runes, so this only applies if you do have the expansion pack, you can randomly craft one rune. So instead of having to come to the jeweler every single time to remove your gems or to remove your runes, whatever it is, if I took this out here and then I'm out in the wild and I find a better weapon and I'm in the process of leveling, but I don't want to go back to town, you can actually now, let's say that I put this in here and I wanted to have my grand topaz back in. I can put the topaz in without even having to swap them around. I just take the one that I want and I put it in. For your runes, and this also goes for your gems here, it just is going to cycle them down. So now I have the Grand Emerald in there. I put the Strength gem back in. Now it's going to push it down to the bottom, and then we put the next one in, and it's going to put it in there for you. Same thing goes with your runes. If you want to swap around these runes here, so let's say I wanted to put the Lith in, I put my Lith in, it's now going to replace the Cur that I had in here. And if I wanted to run Ton for some meteors, I can put this in, and it's now going to replace my Ke. So now I've gone back to a completely different setup without having to come back to the jeweler every single time. So it saves you a bunch of time, especially if you don't feel like swapping, but you're out in the middle of, let's say, Hell Tides, or you're leveling, something like that. It's going to be really, really helpful. Even being in the training grounds, I swap around my runes all the time, so it is really important. If you guys don't know what the training grounds are, you should absolutely go check it out. It's going to be in Kyovashad here, the training ground at the door, and then if you do have the expansion pack, you can come over to the Kuras Bazaar, and then you can go into the training grounds here. Really great place to test out your builds. Tip number 3 is going to be experience gains. There's a whole bunch of different ways that you can gain experience throughout the game and that you can stack increasing experience. Something that's really, really great this season. The first thing that you can do is you can go to any of the Forgotten Wisdom Nightmare dungeons. Inside of these is going to be an experience well. That experience well will give you 15% increased experience for an hour. It's there even if you die, so you don't have to worry about it going away. You can also add elixirs and incense. Now, a really cool thing about incense is when you come over here, you looked at crafting incense. Now, we're at the alchemist. You have core stats, defensive stats, and resistance stats on 3 different types of incense. The fun part about that is you can run one of each type all together. So you want to be running all three of them because that's going to really help your character. Now, you more want to do this when you're in the end game. During the leveling process, it doesn't really matter too much because the experience bonus that you gain from incense doesn't stack. You get 5% for having incense on, no more than that. But you do gain the benefits in the end game of having 3 different defensive stats here. That will combine with your elixirs. So you're going to run 1 elixir for 8%. Then you're going to put on your incense for another 5%. And then on top of that, you add your 15% from the Forgotten Wisdom experience well. And now you have stacked a whole bunch of different multipliers to your experience, which is going to make your leveling process a lot easier. But as you can see here, we have put on 1, 2, 3 different types of incense, and we've put on our elixir here. So now we have stacked a whole bunch of different defensive and offensive multipliers, depending on what elixir you're running. And we've now added a whole bunch of experience to our characters during the leveling process, and including leveling your Paragon board. While we're in our inventory here, we're going to cover tip number 4. Number 4 is going to be where to find things throughout the game. We were just looking at our incense. If we're looking for, let's say, something like boss materials, you can actually hover over the boss material and it will tell you exactly where they come from. You can currently find your living steel in Helltides and the Undercity Cross through tributes. Now that's something that you need the expansion pack for. You can also sometimes find them from the Tree of Whisper caches, world bosses, and mercenary bartering. So these are all going to be really great ways for you to figure out where you can get all of the stuff throughout the game. You can even come over to your materials tab here, and then it'll tell you exactly where each one of these come from. So if you're looking for more veiled crystals, you can salvage rare, legendary, and uniques, and mythic items. Those are going to be done at the blacksmith, and those will give you your veiled crystals. They can also come from Tree of Whisper caches, infernal hordes, elite monsters, mercenary bartering. It's a really great tooltip for you to find anything that you're looking for, including the elusive Forgotten Souls. Artificer shards, your sigil powder, all of that right here, you can find out exactly where it is. So you've got your character all set up, you're level 60, you've been flying through some content, you have played your build, you've gotten it to where you want it to be, but now you want to try something else. You don't want to have to bother reswapping constantly to go back to your favorite build and then try other new things. They have added in the armory. Now, this is not new. This has been here for a couple seasons now, but it is really an amazing tool if you haven't got to use this yet. As you can see, I have 5 different builds saved. This is going to allow me to swap back and forth between the different builds very, very seamlessly and very easily. Now, there are a couple things that will not change. So if I was to swap to my Flay build here, it's not going to bring any of the gems over. So if I hit equip, none of my gems will move over. So you're going to need to resocket the gems. You need to resocket your jewels if you're running on a seasonal character as well. You also will have to change your seasonal powers if you're playing on the season. The seasonal powers do not change, and then any of the gems will not change over. A couple things that people run into: if you have the same piece of gear on that has the same runes, you will be able to click equip and then nothing is going to happen. So make sure that your runes that you're putting on from the gear that you're going to be taking off are not identical, and that you don't have 3 different pieces of gear with runes on. So if I had runes in my pants and I was trying to put on 2 weapons that had runes in them, then I would actually not be able to equip the build. So all you have to do is just take out the runes and then you can swap to the build that you want. Now this will change over your skills, this will change over your Paragon points, and it will change over your skill tree. So this is a really great tool to use if you've gotten to level 60 and you're looking to just maximize the amount of builds that you can play without having to swap and change and create new characters and level them up. So we're halfway through. I want to leave you with a little bonus tip. Join the Discord server. The link will be in the description of this video. This is currently the Discord server right here. As you guys can see, there are a ton of people that are chatting every single day. We have hundreds of new people joining this season alone. These are all of the voice chats here with a whole bunch of people that are all in there playing together. They're all chatting together. We have a channel for each of the classes if you're looking to figure out what to do with your class. We also have a trading channel. We have some endgame bosses, and we have a whole tutorial on how to trade and how to get yourself billions and billions of gold if that's something that you wanted to do. We treat Discord as the clan. So if you want to have an amazing community that is incredibly positive, welcoming, helpful, whether you just joined the game or you've been playing the game since launch like I have, you can hop in. We do have a clan and you can apply to the queue. Here is a little bit long. We just refreshed the queue yesterday, so there is going to be a little bit of a wait time, but you can absolutely join the in-game clan. But like I said, all you have to do is just be in Discord and you are part of the clan and you can join in all of the events. It's a really great way, if you don't have a lot of time, to maximize that time, play with people, run some groups together, share boss mats, share gear. It is really amazing. Tip number 6 for you is going to be your Codex of Power. Now, this is incredibly important. Codex of Power, you can bring it up by going to your collections here. You go into the Codex of Power. These are all of the aspects that you have collected. Now, what an aspect is, it's going to be what's on your gear. So if you see right here, this says Weapon Master's Exceptional Helm. Exceptional Helm is the name of the piece of gear. Weapon Masters is going to be the aspect. Now, you don't actually have to worry about the name of the gear. All you have to do is just worry about the name of the aspect, because any piece of gear, legendary or rare, which is going to be yellow, you can actually imprint an aspect onto it. So how do you get aspects? When you come here to your blacksmith here, you can see there's this little mark on the top right corner of the item. That's not on any of the other items. That's because I haven't found this level of aspect. Now, the way that aspects work is that as you salvage gear, it goes into the Codex of Power. The Codex of Power will automatically have the highest level of the aspect that you've ever found. So no matter what you do, you'll always have the best version of whatever you found. So when we salvage this, it's now going to have this little pop-up here that I've now upgraded the aspect, so the aspect will get upgraded in the Codex of Power. So with the Codex of Power here, again, you can search, you can filter, you can even look at your own class. This is a complete list of everything that I have found. Now for the Barbarian class here, I've found everything, but for the other classes, I haven't been able to play them yet, so I haven't found all those codex. When you go to your Occultist here, this is where you're going to imprint your aspect. So your aspect gets saved. Now for something, let's just take this piece of yellow gear here. We're going to add it into our item slot. We're going to bring up our Codex of Power. Now this is everything that we just saw in that other menu. You will be able to select only the specific types for each piece of gear. For this helmet, you're going to have defensive and you're going to have utility. So those are going to be your two options here. You can only have one imprinted per piece of gear. You're going to select the aspect that you want. Then you're going to imprint the aspect as long as you have the material cost for it. And then it's going to actually create a legendary piece of gear because you put an aspect on it. If you're taking a rare piece of gear to a legendary, you do not actually add an extra stat. If you look here, this one has 3 stat lines. This one only has 2. When you drop legendary gear, that's when you're going to have the 3 stats. You can even still put on your legendary piece of gear and you can change up the aspect a little bit. So if I want to add might for some damage reduction here, I'm going to put that on and then I'm going to go ahead and imprint. And now I have now added on that new aspect to this piece of gear, and now it has become something completely different and it's going to actually benefit my class and my character. So it's really important that you ignore the helmet type. This one is an Archon helm. Ignore that. This is of might. Might is the aspect that is on this. That's what you're actually looking for, not the pieces of gear specifically. When it comes to uniques, you cannot imprint uniques. The uniques will have a name, and those names are what you want to look for when you're looking for your pieces of gear. While we're here in the Codex of Power, we're going to talk about auto pinning. Now, we did talk about looking for specific types of aspects. The aspects will actually be able to unlock 2 different ways. One, as you saw, by salvaging, and then the other way is going to be through dungeons. All of the aspects in the game can be found on pieces of gear and can be salvaged, so you don't necessarily have to do dungeons, but if it is something really important for your class and you wanted to go and do it, things like aspect of mending stone here, we're going to be able to find this from the sealed archives. If you look right here, it says pin to map. We actually click that button, and now when I go to my map, it has automatically pinned where the dungeon is for me, and I don't have to search on the map. I don't have to Google. I don't have to do any of that. I can actually know that it is right here, and I can hop on my horse with my cooldown reduction gear, and then I can sprint there. Tip number 8 is going to be for anybody out there that is going to be playing in a party. Blizzard has added in this incredibly awesome feature. You can now teleport to your party members. You're going to click on the party member right here, and then all you're going to do is just going to click on teleport to party member. This is great if you're in a dungeon and you're out there exploring and you got stuck killing some monsters. You teleport right to where the person is. So if they're way ahead of you towards the end and you want to hop in on that boss fight, you can click on teleport in the middle of a dungeon. You can do it no matter where you are in the game. You can teleport right to somebody that is in your party. Speaking of teleporting, number 9 is going to be boss teleporting. Now this is really, really great here because you can click on whatever boss you want to teleport to, and then we're going to go right to that boss. So you can teleport there automatically without having to worry about running there. You don't have to go to the waypoint, and then you can zone in. It's going to zone you right into the dungeon. This will also tell you right here whether or not you have enough boss materials to summon the boss. So if you wanted to go run there, you don't have to look in your inventory and guess. It will not tell you what you have in your storage, but it will tell you what you have on your inventory currently right now. So I have 73 and I need 12. This was perfect, so I can go and do this. That's actually going to roll right into tip number 10. Tip number 10 is actually going to be your boss whispers. Now, if you saw right there, that was lit up as red. That red means that I get 5 Grim Favors for killing this boss. Grim Favors are going to give you access to Whisper Caches. So I've now teleported into the boss room here, and now it shows that I don't have to teleport to the town and then run inside. I go right into it. So with the whispers, what's really, really cool about that, and what happens with the new changes to the boss, you can now summon the boss without having to spend any materials whatsoever. Now, we did talk about the whispers here. Now, why is that important? What is going to happen with these whispers here is that I can actually get those simply by just killing the boss. You don't have to even spend any materials at all. So I'm going to run into Varshan. I'm going to pop all my cooldowns. I'm going to just kill Varshan here. And then I have already attained the whispers right there, and that's it. So it's a really great way to get your Grim Favors up so that you can turn them in, because turning in your Grim Favors for Whispers here at either the Tree of Whispers or at any major city where the Ravens are is a great source of gold. It's a great source of materials. It's a great source of items. It is really, really something that you want to take advantage of, and those are the really fast ways to do it. That's all I got for you today. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, share it with your friends. Thank you already for watching. I'm live every night. I'd love it if you stopped by, said hi, theory crafted with me. Catch you on the clip side.